Welcome to Love Your Life After Divorce, the podcast where you'll learn everything you need to know to rebuild your life after divorce from the inside out. Let's dive in. Hey there, how's everything going for you this week? I hope you're having a really good week and a really good fall season. If you're somewhere where you have fall, I guess you may not be. In my last podcast episode, I talked about gratitude and I presented a gratitude challenge for you to do in the month of November. So if you're doing it, I'd love to know how it's going for you. It's only been 2 days so far in November, and I can honestly say that doing it just for 2 days has already made a slight impact for me. The first day I did it, I just felt this kind of flooding of peace and optimism in my body right after I wrote down the three things I was thankful for. And I posted it on my Facebook page, and several people commented and also shared what they were thankful for that day. And so hearing what other people were thankful for, it just made me feel warm inside, and it made me feel connected to those people. And I don't know, it was just really cool. And I just love how doing things like this with other people creates connection and it allows you to have a more positive mindset. When you hear all of the things that other people are also thankful for, it just kind of highlights the good things that are going on out there, the good things that other people are experiencing. And so I highly encourage you to jump in and join us on this gratitude challenge. Each day in November, all you have to do is write down one thing you're grateful for about yourself, one person you're grateful for and why, and then one thing in your life you're grateful for and why. That's it. It doesn't take long, but I think developing this gratitude attitude, that's kind of catchy, but a mindset of gratitude, I think really makes a big difference. And the research shows that it does. So if you haven't listened to that past episode just last week, check it out because it's really, really helpful, I think. Today, I want to talk to you about how you spend your free time or your alone time after you get a divorce. I hear from lots of divorced women about just how uncomfortable this is. You go from being really busy with your kids all the time or, you know, seeing your ex-husband every single day. When you live a life with other people and then you separate and you live a life a little more on your own, it can feel weird. It can feel uncomfortable. It can feel confusing. You feel a little adrift, like you don't know exactly what to do with yourself. That's what I want to address today. What do you do with yourself when you're home alone or when you have free time to yourself? Now, first, I want to point out that it's not just the act of being alone at this time in your life that makes this experience a little uncomfortable for newly divorced people. But it's the fact that you're also dealing with all of these painful or confusing emotions. I know I've talked about this multiple times, but it's just so important to recognize that if you run away from those painful feelings, if you don't really allow yourself to feel them, acknowledge them, process them in a healthy way, then you're really holding yourself back. You're really causing yourself to take way longer to heal than if you would just allow yourself to face those difficult and painful emotions head on. I'll talk about that at length in other episodes. And so I don't want to belabor that here, but I just have to point out that that's one of the reasons why being home alone can be really uncomfortable because it gives you that time and space for your brain to start spinning, for you to start replaying old events, or for you to have all of those painful or difficult emotions welling up inside you. And the best way to handle that is to sit with those painful emotions. Let them be there. Don't try to run away from them. Don't try to buffer them away or numb out. So I just want to offer that to you first. That's the most important thing to realize about this time of being alone in your home or just alone with your thoughts after divorce. You have to feel it to heal it. But After you have addressed that issue, then there's the whole question of just what do you do with yourself? How do you spend your time? And I want to offer you today that it's not as simple as just come up with some hobbies or some activities or learn a different pace of life or add some things in that you enjoy. Yes, those things are important, but it's actually much deeper than that. How you spend your time is a reflection of who you are. And although going through a divorce can be really painful and disorienting and just have so many painful emotions, it's also the perfect time to rediscover yourself. That really and truly has been the best thing about divorce for me. I really feel like I have become a much more authentic, genuine, aligned version of myself than I have ever been in my life. And it is amazing. It feels wonderful. I love feeling like I know who I am and I know what I want. And I am creating a life that is amazing to me, that I love living. And that is what I want for you as well. And figuring out what to do with your time and how to spend your alone time and your free time is a big part of that self discovery. It's an opportunity to live out who you really are, to be grounded, to be aligned, to get to know yourself better, to reconnect to your true self, to stop pretending or performing, to stop trying to impress other people or please other people. When you're divorced and you are living your life, maybe for the first time ever, on your own terms, maybe this is the most independent you've ever felt in your life. It's terrifying and it's also exhilarating. It's exciting. There's so many possibilities. And that's what I really want you to lean into as you listen to this episode and as you think about the things you want to try or the type of life you want to live. So it like I said, it really does go much deeper than just finding things to do so that you're not bored or lonely. You truly are rediscovering yourself. You're rebuilding your life. You're shedding those things that aren't really you, and you're adding in those things that reflect who you really are. And let me point out here that although I'm going to be offering you some really practical ideas about activities and hobbies and things to try, you may actually need to stay home alone. You may need to rest. You may need to give yourself permission to do nothing. That may be the best use of your time right now. And I also want to point out that this is very individualized. What may be perfect for one person to do at this time may not be good for another person. You have to evaluate what's best for you by checking in with yourself. I'm going to give you some questions a little later to refer to that will help you figure out what is best for you right now. What is the most life giving or loving thing that you can do for yourself? Because honestly, running out and doing lots of activities, joining clubs, joining sports teams, going to festivals, doing all the things might not be best for you. That actually might be you running away from and avoiding your painful emotions. It might be you putting up a false front and pretending that you're doing much better than you are. Just because you're getting out there and doing things does not mean you are healing or really moving on with your life. You have to do the internal work. External actions don't change or heal you. So just remember why you're doing what you're doing matters. Your motivation, your reason for choosing how you spend your time is what's most important. Keeping yourself so busy so that you don't have to face sadness, loneliness, disappointment, confusion, or fear is not the healthiest choice. And like I said, it will prevent you from healing and prevents you from getting to know yourself better because you're just running away. So, the key is to find activities, to spend your time doing things that nourish you or that just feel fun or allow you to explore something, a facet of yourself that you've maybe never given yourself permission to explore. That's how you rediscover yourself. Right now, you may have no idea of how you would really enjoy spending your alone time or your free time. And that's totally fine. You can experiment, you can try some things. You may think that you're not artistic at all. But maybe if you take a painting class, you'll discover that, wow, this is really fun for you. And maybe you're really good at it and you had no idea. So I just encourage you at this time in your life, you're leaving your past behind. You are starting a new chapter. And this is a perfect time to try some things out, to just experiment. So here are some questions that you can ask yourself to give yourself some ideas of what you might want to do. So this simple question is, what do I really want to do? What sounds fun? What sounds exciting? What have I always wanted to try but never have? What stretches me a little bit or feels a little bit uncomfortable? What's a little outside of my comfort zone? Or alternatively, it might be, what would be the most relaxing thing for me to do right now? What would feel rejuvenating for me? Like I said, we are all at different places with our divorce recovery journeys. You may need to stay home while someone else really needs to get out of the house. And also, what you need most will change. The thing that you need, the minute you get a divorce is going to be different than what you need 2 years after your divorce. That's what it's been like for me, especially if you're the one who wanted the divorce. If you had been in an unhappy relationship and marriage for many, many years, right when you get a divorce, you may experience a lot of relief and excitement about being on your own. You may, especially if you have younger kids that you are with every single day, you may actually enjoy going to the bathroom by yourself without being interrupted, taking a long shower without someone coming in and asking you a question. And so, you'll go through phases of what you need. And so it's so important just to tune into yourself, to realize that you know what's best for you, and so it's so vital for you to get to know yourself on a deeper level, for you to trust yourself, for you to check in with yourself and see what feels most aligned and what feels right to you at this stage, wherever that is. So remember that you are rebuilding your life from the inside out. You have to face those fears you have, your desires, your scarcity mindset. You have to face and feel your feelings. And once you do that, you're going to be more free to explore what you decide to do with your time. The things that you try will feel less pressured, they'll be more natural. And so it's important to do that internal work. So, when you try an activity and you feel joyful or excited, or even have kind of a childlike sense of wonder or just fun, then you know you're on the right track. It is so freeing and exciting to just let loose and just do some things that you enjoy. For me, it's been things like whitewater rafting, zip lining, going shopping by myself just to try on clothes for me. I didn't do that much during my marriage. Camping and playing pickleball. Those are all really fun things for me that I do now that I didn't do when I was married. And if you're anything like me, when I was married, I felt selfish when I did things like that. I honestly, I did not have a good life balance. I had unrealistic expectations for myself as a mom and as a wife. And so part of the benefit for me personally of being divorced is that I have allowed myself to pursue things that interest me. I've allowed myself to do activities that are just fun for me, that I enjoy. I'm not taking anyone else into account. And that doesn't mean I'm being selfish. I have my kids part of the time. So when I don't have them, I explore what's fun for me. I go axe throwing, I go bowling, I try a new restaurant, just things like that. So, like I said, just remember that getting a divorce is a great chance to reset, to reevaluate how you're living your life. You get to decide what types of things you want to give your time, attention, and money to. You can figure out what lights you up, what brings you joy, what allows you to rest and rejuvenate. Like I said, maybe you need to just totally chill out and do nothing for an entire weekend. So now I'm going to offer you some really practical ideas. I have a long list of things that you can try because sometimes it is hard to think of things. And some of these things I'm going to list for you, you're going to have an immediate, like, ugh, reaction to, and it does not sound appealing to you. And that's totally fine. We all like different things. But if there's something that kind of piques your interest or that you're kind of like, huh, or maybe I've always wanted to try that, then give it a try. Re listen to this list, write things down that you want to try. All right, so I've tried to divide them up a little bit into kind of genres. So, this first group of things I'm going to offer you is if you want to be more physically active, then here are some things you can try. You can try going to the gym and working out at your own pace in the weight room alone, or you can find a workout partner to go with you. Also, at the gym, you can go to group fitness classes like spin, yoga, or kickboxing. I personally love group fitness classes, and you also get a little social aspect with that as well. There are definitely friends I have now that I met by going to group fitness classes. You could also sign up to play a sport in an adult league like tennis, golf, soccer, or volleyball. You could try ballroom dancing or any other kind of dancing, a dance class. You could try pickleball. You could hike. You could do outdoor cycling or gardening. If you need more social time, here are some suggestions. You can find local Facebook groups or meetup groups that do things in person. So you can look online and find these groups. And a lot of times they're organized either by stage of life, like divorced women or women over 50 or singles, or by activities like a hiking group, a painting group, a book club, a bunko group. There are so many groups out there that you can find and be a part of. And I know it can feel a little bit scary to put yourself out there or just to join in some group activity with a bunch of strangers that you've never met. But you don't have anything to lose. Just try it. If it's awful, just leave or find a friend to go with you. You're not committing to something long term, you're just trying it out. Also, you could go to a church if you're not already going to one, or you could find a new group at your church to participate in. A lot of churches offer lots of activities for their members. You could try volunteering somewhere, like an animal shelter or a food bank or a library. You could also start dating if you haven't tried that yet. Now, if you need more alone time or you want to do things at home for whatever reason, then here are some things you can do in your own home. You can read, you can deep clean, clean out closets and drawers, reorganize things. You can redecorate by painting or moving furniture around. You can take a long hot bath. You can knit, sew, crochet, any kind of craft. I'm not really into crafts, so I don't know exactly what they are, but I know some people love like making t-shirts with those cricket machines. Is that what they're called? Some people love adult coloring books. You could take a nap. You could watch movies or shows. You could experiment with recipes and trying to cook new foods or bake. You could also explore yourself sexually, figure out what you like and enjoy. You can do this with or without porn or toys or vibrators. Now, if you want to get out of the house and try some new activities, either alone or with other people, then here are some ideas of things you can get out and do. You can go listen to live music. You can attend sporting events. Go to a local spa and try something you've never tried before. If you've never had a facial or a certain kind of massage, give it a try. That feels amazing. Ooh, there's these head massages. Is that what they're called? They have these head spas. I've been dying to try that where they spray this water on your head and they massage it. I think that sounds amazing. You could go to antique stores. You could explore some cities within driving distance. Take a little day trip to somewhere you've never been. You could go to the zoo or the aquarium, any kind of festival. Even small towns have little festivals sometimes that are can be quirky and cute and fun to go to. You could go to yard sales. And also, if you're interested in art, There's lots of little artsy things you can do. You can go to one of those sip and paint classes with a group of friends. That's pretty much my only artistic thing I've tried since my divorce. And I was actually pleasantly surprised. I've always told myself I have no artistic ability. And I have the picture that I painted of my two pumpkins hanging in my house right now. So it can be done. They also offer a lot of art classes at the local rec center where I live. So you may want to look into that. Do you have a rec center or a library close by that offers different classes, different art kind of classes? You could learn to play an instrument and either learn on your own. I mean, you can YouTube and learn how to do anything from YouTube these days. So you could create your own class for yourself, or you could take lessons. You could also take singing lessons. I've always enjoyed singing, but I've always felt like I'm not as good as I could be. If someone like helped me out with some technique, I could probably get a lot better, and it's appealing. It's fun to do things like that. You could also maybe go back to school. If you want to finish your bachelor's degree, if you never finished, or if you want to get a master's or even a PhD, now's the time to think about that. What do you want for your future? And does it require a certain education or a certification in something? So, those are all the ideas that I have for you today. And I'm sure there are so many more that I didn't even think of. And, like I said, it's very individualized. What sounds amazing and appealing and what's life giving to one person would be torture for someone else. And so your job is to figure out what works for you. What makes you feel alive and excited? What causes you to enjoy life? So it doesn't matter as much what you're doing, but it does matter why you're doing it. And just remember that the objective in all of these possibilities and ideas is to reconnect with yourself, to feel grounded, to feel aligned, like you're taking good care of yourself and you're loving yourself well. Whether that means going out or staying in, reading a book or watching a show, going camping or going shopping, dating or being single, it doesn't really matter. But what matters is you are on your own unique journey. You are figuring out what you want your life to look like after divorce. I know it's easy to get bogged down with the painful negative emotions that we have after divorce. It's easy to be pessimistic. It's easy to think about all the things you're losing. But I really want you to start focusing on all the things you can gain, all the things you can add into your life, the things that you can experience for the first time, the skills that you can develop, the fun you can have. The possibilities are truly endless. So get out there, try some new things. Just think of it as an experiment. See what you like, see what resonates with you, see what you enjoy. And when you find something that makes you feel alive, that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel like you're going in the direction that you want to go in your life right now, just keep doing that. Like I said, you are definitely on your own journey, but sometimes you need a little help along the way. You need to talk through some options with someone. You need to get some perspective on your life. If you feel stuck, if just even the idea of getting out there and trying new things feels totally overwhelming to you, if you really think that you just have no idea what you want, then I would love to meet with you and talk with you through this. I would love to ask you some really great questions to get those wheels turning because I know you actually do have interest. I know there are things that you've always wanted to do, and maybe you've convinced yourself that you're not capable or you're not able or that type of thing isn't for you. So if you want to meet and chat about this, I would love to. I would absolutely love to. So I'll provide the link in the show description. You can easily book a Zoom call with me. We can hop on and chat for 30 or 45 minutes. And it would be my pleasure to help you come up with some great ideas of some things you can try. Just keep taking good care of yourself and enjoying the process of building a life you love after divorce. If you're feeling lost, overwhelmed, or unsure of how to move forward after your divorce, I've created a free guide just for you. It's called The 5 Stages of Divorce Recovery, and it lays out the roadmap to help you heal, rebuild, and love your life after divorce. This guide is packed with insights and actionable steps that will take you from grieving to embracing your future with confidence. Click the link in this podcast description, and the free guide will be delivered straight to your inbox.